Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Powerful Listing Conversations 101, 102. We are going to do two different ones today, and the reason for that is they're very similar, and we want to try to get you to a point where we can run through both of them. So the first course, again, is Powerful Listing Conversations 101, Getting the Listing. And let's go ahead and get started with this slideshow. So guys, we just came from a 4-week training of getting prospecting for success. Prospecting for Success 101, 102, 103 was absolutely, and 104, we went through the basics of prospecting, the importance of prospecting. We gave you exactly how to prospect. We then went and we broke down how to work with for sale by owners, exactly what to say to them. We moved on from there and went to expireds and talked about advanced concepts in week 3. We gave you 18 places to find prospects, so you never have a day where you say, I don't have anybody to call. We went from there and talked about sphere of influence and the importance of that. So now you guys should be making your calls. You should be reaching the number of people that is your target for each day, whatever that number is, 5, 7, 10, whatever number of people that you have to have a real estate conversation, and you should be scheduling appointments. As you'll learn, the hardest part of real estate is making those phone calls every day and getting those appointments. So what we want to be able to do is when you go and get an appointment, we want you to close at minimum 19 out of 20 appointments that you go on. So when you go on a listing appointment, I want you to walk in there knowing that you're going to walk out 19 out of 20 times with a signed listing. Right now, I have 2 students that have taken these 4 courses that are on streaks. One guy's streak goes back to 2014. The other one goes back to 2015. They're both top realtors in New Jersey. They took this course and they have not gone on a listing appointment again, one since 2014, one since 2015, where they didn't walk out with a signed listing agreement. Pretty impressive, right? Over 100, both of them. Well over 100 probably at this point. It's probably more closer to 200 or 300. So this is going to give you guys the concepts and everything you need to walk out with a listing over the next 3 weeks, because today we're going to do 101 and 102. So let's get started. Before anything, what you're going to hear anywhere you go in this industry, you're going to hear people talk about their listing presentation. Oh, do you have your listing presentation done? We don't use those words inside these 4 walls, or hopefully anywhere else. We use the word conversation. Why? People don't like to feel as though they're being sold. If I'm doing a presentation like I am doing right now, what do? I have a boring PowerPoint up here on the screen. You guys are using toothpicks to keep your eyes open. Truthfully, you're not engaged. You're not sharing your ideas. It's not a two-way street of information. It's me telling, and selling. That's not what I want. I want the person that's sitting across from you for you to have a conversation with them. I need you to be in control of that conversation, but you need to make them be a part of the process. There are 3 key components. We talked about these a little in here in a little impromptu conversation before class. There's 3 components that are essential to your listing conversation. First is educating the homeowner. We talked a little bit about, somebody wants to do a $30,000 project and they think it's going to raise the value of their house $30,000. Well, what if it only raises it 10? We need to educate them on those types of things. What upgrades or what things should they get done before bringing their house to the market? What things are they better off not doing? Number 2, we need to advise the homeowner. Remember, guys, that our job is that of a coach and an advisor. You are not salespeople. A salesperson is someone that convinces somebody to buy or sell something a lot of times that they weren't even thinking about buying or selling. Buying or selling a house is one of the biggest things a person does. They are going to go through contemplation, contemplation, and all before they're ready to go. And yes, you could be part of those processes and maybe help coach them along, but your real job is a coach and an advisor. And what you want to find out is what they're committed to. Well, we talked about that all through prospecting for success. It's the same thing. If you understand what that prospect is looking to do, where they want to move, why they want to move, and when they want to move, you can easily set up a strategy that's going to be a win-win for them to do exactly what you're advising them to do. I used the example before. Somebody says, I want to be in a house, I want to be in my new house so I can have a big Thanksgiving celebration. Okay, well, you know, it's going to be the 1st of July. We don't have a lot of time when they say to you, oh, I want to paint first, and I want to clean this up first, and I want to do this to the lawn first, and I want to whatever. You want to bring them back to what it is they're committed to and explain to them, you know, November sounds like a long way off, but in the real estate world, it's really not. And explain. Oh, I better get this on the market now. They go from, we'll give you a call in 2 weeks after we paint, to signing a listing agreement. So as I did with the IICCC that I taught you for prospecting, I'm going to teach you another acronym that works perfectly for your listing conversation. I always like to say we're going to keep it real, homie. REAL is our acronym for our conversation process. And what it is we are going to first build rapport when we show up at the house and meet somebody. We're going to build rapport with them on the phone before when we're setting the appointment and any other time. Once we've built rapport, we're going to engage them, which is about finding out about them and what they're committed to doing. Thirdly, we're going to advise them, and we do advise in 3 steps. We advise them about ourselves and our company. We advise them about our marketing our marketing plan, marketing strategy, and we advise them on the right price for their home. Now, we're not going to go a ton into pricing conversation over these couple weeks because I have another amazing training called the pricing conversation, which is going to teach you to walk out with the right price every time for every listing you go on. So let's look at each step. And of course, the L is just for list. And I want it to sound as simple as that because that's all it is simple. So let's look at these. Rapport. If the homeowner doesn't like you, for whatever reason, they don't trust you, they don't feel comfortable with you, I don't care if you have the best record in the world of realtors, they're not going to list with you. You can have the best companies, best systems, best record of success. They don't like you, they're not going to list with you. So they need to like you. But you know what else is important? You need to like them. Has anybody ever had a listing with someone that they didn't like? Trust me, being in this business, I've seen it. I don't just, I should be careful, we're live on YouTube. I don't dislike my client. You guys have all met him, so you get it. But I'm to the point now that actually I'm not going to renew with him. And it's the same thing because it's just too much stress for what it is. People just don't. And that's exactly what my next, yes. People go into he's on his 5th realtor. So anyway, when you go into a place, have you ever gone to a place and maybe you met a mutual friend, and you just didn't hit it off? And there's no rhyme or reason for it, whatever. Unfortunately, it happens. Mm-hmm. My advice to you, instead of putting yourself through a horrible situation, refer it out to someone else, sit back, maybe they become best friends, and you're still going to get 25% of the deal. And it's a lot easier than going through that. Yeah. So when you go in, you're going to knock on their door, right? We're going to go a little bit more in depth in this. And of course, in our other trainings, we're going to go through this. By the way, I failed to say this, but for anybody that's watching this on YouTube as well, for our live streaming feed, one of the things that we always do is we practice what we preach here in Step Ed Bootcamp. We go through and give you scripts so that you can learn this stuff inside and out. And one of the most important conversation mastery classes that we have are the weeks that we do these trainings, because we are only going to teach you what to say, but where to stand, where to sit, how to say it, and whatever else. So 9 a.m. Tomorrow, we will be here and going through this conversation mastery. So feel free to please join us. So you're going to meet the person at the front door and you're going to say, hi, I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to meet with you. When you walk in their house, what I want you to do is beeline it as much, not as quickly as you can, but it's straight to their kitchen table. You go to the kitchen table and just set whatever stuff you have down. Why do you go to the kitchen table? You're not going to sit down. You're just going to set your stuff down. Why the kitchen table? Because it's one of the most familiar places in the house. I always tell people I had a house in New Jersey. I had a beautiful custom new construction. I had a dining room table that was longer than the table we're sitting at now. I think I sat 22 people or 24 people at it for Thanksgiving. I ate at that table in the 8 years or 9 years I lived in that house. Less than 10 times. I hosted Thanksgiving every other year. I had Easter, and I think I had 2 dinner parties. Never ever else did I eat there. House I'm in now actually has an area that would be a dining room. It's set up with my cigar stuff. I got a nice humidor in there, right? We don't use our formal dining rooms like families used to in the old days, but they do use the kitchen table every day. It's a comfortable, familiar place. They sit there in their pajamas. They talk with their kids. The kids do homework there. That's why we go there. Okay. Once you've done that, you're going to ask them to take you through a tour of the property. If it's a husband and a wife or whatever, more than one person. A lot of times, oh, my wife will give you the tour. She knows the house inside and out. My husband will give you the tour. I've got to finish up help my kids with my homework. Absolutely not. You'd say to them, I really would appreciate it if you both would come with me, because even though you're married, you both are going to have different perspectives of the house, and I want to learn as much about your house as possible. That works every time to get them both on that tour. As you're going through the tour, Florida is a horrible place for what I'm about to say. How many people have sold multiple houses in the same neighborhood? Right? I did closeouts for a builder. I knew the first closeouts I did were townhomes. I knew those townhomes better than anybody. There were only 4 or 5 models. Same thing I did at 55 and over. There were 3 models when I started. I knew them inside and out. When people went to go sell those, I could easily go in and say, listen, I know you're inside your house better than you do, but you don't. As many times as you've been through a particular model, or maybe say, I know what this house is worth and I got it down before I go in, go through, take genuine interest. Point out things that are nice. Maybe they have a custom mantle. Maybe they have a custom woodwork someplace else. Maybe they have beautiful tile. Subtly point out flaws. Be very careful, but subtly do it. Why? If I go through your house, oh, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. And I cut over to things. When I tell you your house is only worth $350 and you think it's worth $380, I have no credibility. So you need to be honest and go through. Just be gentle when pointing out flaws. Take your time. You're not in a hurry, okay? Listening conversation usually goes for about an hour. I've done them in a half hour. My buddy that you guys all had was 4 hours. Anyway, and everywhere in between. But take your time. Finish the tour where you started, at the kitchen table, and sit down there with them. By the way, when you are on this, and we're going to go a little bit more on this, I'll save it to the next one because we're doing 2 here. Second thing is engage them. I want you to engage the homeowners in a conversation. What you're trying to do here is make them feel, because they are, a part of the process. As much as I just said I knew all those townhomes and whatever else, the Garfield, the Polk, they were all named after dead presidents, the Wilson, I still didn't live there. And you didn't live in some of these houses. You're going to go sell a house for somebody that maybe's lived there for 20, 30 years. They know that house in that neighborhood better than you do. I don't care if you sold 12 houses in that neighborhood. They're there every day. So get them in. They need to be open, talking, and presenting their ideas, or you cannot move to the next step. Now, very important for anybody that's ever done a listing conversation with more than one person, maybe you've fallen into this trap. I know I have. Bless you. I go out and I have this amazing conversation with the wife. She's answering all my questions, talking. Same thing in the report part. That's what I said. I just move on and we'll talk about it. Same thing. The husband's giving me daggers. But I think I got this made because she's in. No, you have to have every person in this conversation doing things. If I'm asking the husband if I'm asking all the questions and the husband's giving me all the answers, you know what I need to do? I need to turn to the wife and ask her a specific question directed at her to open her up and get her talking. This is what you're doing during the report, and more so when you're engaging them. One of the questions you ask during the report, what are your 3 favorite things about the house? You'll see who answers first. It's who's going to, I'm an ordained pastor. I've done a bunch of weddings. And I always say in the beginning, they say the husband and wife, the two become one flesh. After the honeymoon, they come home and find out which one. Yeah. Well, you'll find out which one if you start asking questions, the one's going to take the lead, right? You got to get the other one talking too. Ask probing questions. Never ask questions you can get a yes, no answer, right? You guys know this is school teachers. You have kids, you're screwed, right? They just yes, no, yes. No, you got to get them talking, right? Remember that you have but remember this too. Remember that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Understand at the end of engaging them what they want to accomplish, where they want to move, why they want to move there, when they want to move there. Remember, it is a conversation and not an interrogation. You should be getting comfortable with them. They should be getting comfortable with you. Keep it two-sided. Ask targeted conversational questions. I have scripts here for you guys. And again, I hate the word scripts, but they're to help you with your conversation. Put in your own words. Once you've done this, you're going to advise them. You can pass, you just got to get them. They need to be sorted. And I'm sorry they went two-sided. I didn't mean for that, but they did. Okay. Anybody that's watching this on, you don't have all of them. Anybody that is watching this again now live or on our replay, you can just email me or text me or message me, and I will get you these things. Okay. So as you're advising, you're coaching and teaching the homeowner to use the information you learned while engaging them. Now, what you're doing here is you're advising them on the why of why they should hire you as a realtor. Now, I've updated since I wrote this. I wrote this training back in 2014. So, wow, it's amazing. It feels like just yesterday, but it was not. Advising, I've moved into 3 parts. The first part is advising them about the company and yourself. And you'll see I have it a little bit different here. I have this in a 4-part plan, but I actually have this now in a 3-part plan. It's a little bit different than these 4 steps. So the first step is to advise them about yourself and about your company. Tell them a story about yourself, what you specialize in, how you know an area, whatever it is. Make that about you, what you bring to the table. In addition, tell them about the company. Tell them that Century 21 is, a worldwide, the largest real estate largest real estate holding in the world. We're in over 88 countries. Mm-hmm. We have over 150,000 agents. Tell them about Century 21 Integra and what we bring to the table. The fact that we're in 14 states, 66 offices, over 1,800 agents. That we are the 2nd largest real estate franchise in all of the world for any company. These are huge things to share to build credibility, especially if you're a new agent. Once you've done the first A, which is advising them about yourself and your company, once you go to the second A, this is your marketing plan, okay? Your marketing plan should be the longest part of this whole process. Now, you might find that building rapport and engaging them, and it's a good thing if it goes long, because it means you've really cemented a relationship. But in general, your marketing plan should go about 20 minutes. The key to a marketing plan, and you will see this in your handouts, is what I gave you is something called FEA, Feature, Explain, Advantage. We went through this in the 3rd week of training for anybody that's been here since week 1. You can see Jerica has it from week 1. It's the same handout. It's just this is where we go into a little bit more. Most realtors run a laundry list when talking about what they do. What's a laundry list? I'm going to put your house in the MLS. I'm going to put it on Twitter. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'm going to put it in Zillow. I'm going to put it on realtor.com. And they go through all these features, right? You're sitting there thinking to yourself, or just assuming that that person understands not only what those things are, but how they benefit them. What I need you to do, and this takes practice, is never use a laundry list. I want you to give me a feature, explain what that feature is, and then go through what the advantage is. If you do this, your competitor might have 20 things that they say, but they're going to say them inside of 60 seconds. If you have 8 good things, I'm going to put your house in the MLS. The MLS is the multiple listing service. This is what realtors use to allow other realtors and co-brokers to know that your house is on the market. It also sends your property to over 4,000 websites around the world, including Zillow, Trulia, blah, 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 and you go through this. This allows more people to know your house is being sold. By the way, 97% of home sales start in the MLS. I just gave you one feature. Well, how long did that take me? Now, I did it really quick. It was probably a minute and a half. I just explained that. Now I'm going to talk about social media. Now I'm going to go through all those things. This is how you do a marketing plan. We'll talk more about this in the weeks to come. The third part is not miscellaneous information anymore. The third part is your pricing conversation. And as I said, we're going to talk about your pricing conversation and the pricing strategy and in upcoming trainings here. Remember to do more than educate. When you tell someone about something in your marketing plan, make the homeowner understand, wait a minute, I need this. Wait a minute, that's different. Wait a minute, I can't do that. Real important one than these two. I can't do that, and this will put more money in my pocket than if I did it on my own. What does that have to do with anything? Because why? When you go to a listing conversation, what do you think? You think that you're competing with the guy from Coldwell Banker or the guy from Remax, right? Or the other guy from Century 21 or wherever. Truth is, you may also be competing with the fact that they may be thinking you sell it on their own. And they just are pumping you to get some ideas. Yeah. So not only do you need to have the product differentiation, the yes, that's different, to make you different than again, whoever it is next door realtor or whatever. But you also have to be competing with the fact that, yeah, I can't do that myself. I can't put the house in the MLS. I don't have what I was, one of my big selling points. I don't have 160,000 followers on social media in 50 states and around the world. I can't do that. So these are the things as you're building your marketing plan, which is one of your assignments from this class, to be ready to do a listing appointment. When you're going through the things that you want to do using that feature, explain, advantage, make sure that you show that you're different from your competitors, but that you're also different than them being able to do it on their own. Yes, this is the most important one. This will bring more buyers through my property than if I did it on my own. Explain why you are different and better, and always use the FEA that I gave you. practice it and work on it. And like I say, when we have you do mock listing conversations, that's one of the things, when I stop somebody in the middle of it and say, hey, we need to, wait, here's what we need to do. It's usually on this. Because until you get this in your brain, once you get in your brain, you'll never forget it and you'll have it. But until you get it in your brain, we all want to run the laundry list. I'm going to put you on Zillow. I'm going to put you in the MLS. I'm going to put you on Realtor.com. It doesn't explain it. And it doesn't tell me why I need it.
Yeah, you're right.
Continually, what's that?
You're right. The papers that you have over there are those the ones that have the pricing conversation on it? Do they have the